I searched for the presence of a microbe that causes wasting disease on the eelgrass populations of Morro Bay.
I researched eelgrass in Morro Bay.
I participated in a NASA program to do research and a group project.
I traced fecal coliform in Slow Creek.
While at Cuesta, I studied eelgrass in the estuary at Morro Bay.
I researched clavicular morphology in primates using computer databases and textbooks. I also researched how burning affects animal remains using roadkill that I found off of Highway 1.
Hi, my name is Lori McConico and I'm the marine biologist here at Cuesta College. I'm also the principal investigator for the NSF grant, National Science Foundation grant, to support undergraduate research for students here at Cuesta College. The students have actually a number of undergraduate research opportunities here at Cuesta College. Lisa Misfid in the anthropology department has been mentoring students for a number of years and is one of our key innovators within the grant. We also have a couple of opportunities in the biology department with Silvio Favaretto and myself, where students have a chance to do undergraduate research in Baja, and then also have a chance to participate in a course that allows for undergraduate research working in the local Morro Bay estuary, and so we combine microbiology and marine biology for that one. There are also opportunities for undergraduate research in engineering with Jeff Jones and colleagues. And those students participate via courses that they're taking in kind of the introductory components of engineering. We're also planning to have new opportunities for undergraduate research in mathematics starting as soon as fall 2021. And that's a new program that's being facilitated by Guillermo Alvarez Pardo in the mathematics department. So we're really excited about that new opportunity. We also have a really exciting opportunity for students to participate via the Geographic Information Systems program with Frida Schroeder and her colleagues in physical sciences. And so it's also a new opportunity to get the experience via courses students are taking, but then to apply them to real world problems.
Our project is based around the investigation of the slime mold labyrinthula and whether it's contributing to the decline of eelgrass in Morro Bay. And eelgrass is a keystone species and it contributes to habitat for a myriad amount of sea creatures, including sustenance for them. So it's really important that we keep it healthy and find out why it's declining in North America.
A lot of what we did was getting samples from the field, aka samples of actual eelgrass, bringing them back to the lab, and then culturing whatever was growing on the eelgrass on the medium we were using, which was a plate of agar. When we took that agar, we would sample the microbes from it, most likely fungus, to see what types of fungus were growing on healthy eelgrass versus dying eelgrass in order to see if there was a causative agent or a probable causative agent for the dying off of eelgrass in the area.
My favorite part of the research was kind of getting to know what a real lab is like, getting to know the lab assistant, getting to know my professor, getting to know the other professors. It was just a good experience because I got to learn what my future job could be like and get real hands-on experience with what I could be doing for the rest of my life, which was really helpful.
So there had to be two of my favorite parts in the research. Part of it was while we were in Morro Bay. Just getting out and actually working on getting samples yourself and being almost up to your waist in mud and just flowing water in itself is amazing. It's so much fun. The second one that I would have to put as the most fun was actually the marine biology research trip where we went to Baja down in Mexico, where we continued to not only look at water samples and learn about marine biology, but we managed to actually observe entire ecosystems of wildlife that were completely out of the normal of what we've been seeing in Morro Bay. So both of them gave you a very in-depth look at each area and the ecosystems with it, and provided a huge overall understanding of complex subjects.
So I heard about the NASA program from a student at Cuesta in the tutoring center. We were just talking and making small talk, and she leaned over and she said, "Hey, you're into space." "Yeah. I bet you'd really like this NASA program." And my first thought was, NASA program, really? What are you talking about? And she started sharing with me that there was a program that NASA does specifically for community college students. and that it wasn't limited to just aerospace engineers, but it was also for all people in STEM fields, but even extending beyond STEM fields, anybody who was interested at all. And so I heard about it. It was the day that the application opened, so I applied. I got in. So it's called the NASA Community College Aerospace Scholars Program, or NCAS, NCAS for short. And it provides community college students with the opportunity to go through NASA training online. And so it looks like a month-long course online where you go through these course modules, you study, you take little quizzes. So if you pass those quizzes and you get a high enough score, then you are able to take it to the next step, which is to create a mission research proposal paper. And with that paper, if you score high enough, then you are put to the next level, which is a on-site experience at one of the NASA centers, which is an engineering competition / research project design situation. I'd gotten accepted into the next stage, which was the NASA on-site experience, where they take you, they fly you out to one of the bases and you go through this engineering competition and design process. And so I was looking forward to that in July. Because of COVID, they pushed everything back. And so they ended up putting me into the pilot program of an online virtual on-site. So virtually you're there, right? And so we were the pilot program for this new system, and it turned out to be an exciting opportunity to walk through with the NASA researchers and scientists in this division and how this educational tool could be shaped. I'm finished with the program now, NCAS, I'm finished with that, but I have developed network and relationships with some of these people with NASA, and I have open invites to go to several of the bases. And so they said, hey, you know, when restrictions lift, give me a call and I'll take you on a private tour of the base. So, and some of these people also at NASA have written me fantastic letters of recommendation. They've looked over my resume and my CV, and they've helped me to shape those things as well.
So for my first project, using clavicular morphology of primates, I used like images that I found online of different primate bones. And so your clavicles right here. And I found a bunch of different images of clavicles of primates. And I looked at how they're shaped. And then I tried to understand the different muscle attachments that were maybe influencing that shape. And I contextualized that with behavioral patterns. So I used a book to better understand feeding and locomotive patterns of the different primates. And I made deductions based on that to try to understand their shape. And I found that orangutans actually have really similar clavicles to humans, which I was really surprised with because they're incredible brachiators swinging around those trees. And so maybe something else other than locomotion is actually influencing the shape of our clavicles. For the second project, I collected a bunch of roadkill off of Highway 1. I found a raccoon and a deer, and I burned them with controlled burns in my backyard. But I did them in different stages because I wanted to see how burning looked on bones with and without the flesh on the animal remains. This was supposed to be helpful for better understanding burning in forensic contexts. And so was a body burned with or without flesh? And I found that bone, when it's burned with a lot of like flesh on it, it tends to like crack and expand a little bit more, probably because it has a lot of that like collagen and water still inside of it. It hasn't dried out officially yet. Whereas when a bone has been dried out for a while, it tends to get really, really, really black really quickly and carbonize and get ashy a little bit quicker. And I actually donated this project to Lisa's lab. And so I tried to save all the information on the temperature it was burned at, the amount of time it was burned at, and hopefully for students to use it in the future to maybe ask different questions on these remains. So the process helped me learn, one, how to set up a feasible research project. And so it forced me to go through those steps to really figure out, okay, what is feasible within a semester, when it's like 3 or 4 months, you know? And so in doing that, I was able to transfer some of those skills into working on my honors thesis at UC Berkeley. And so, I mean, everything from like proposing my idea to Lisa, to writing out my outline, to figuring out how I was going to do this research on a limited budget, right? Because I was a student, 18 years old at Cuesta. And so figuring out how to use resources that were available. And so consequently, that really helped me. It was really easy to start doing more research as an undergraduate at Berkeley because I knew how to pitch an idea to a professor. I knew how to do the outline. I knew how to do a feasible project and propose a feasible project. I recently published some of my dissertation in the Journal of Human Evolution, and which has always been a dream of mine, even when I was way back at Cuesta reading some of these research articles when I was doing my undergraduate research project. And now I'm one of those people that have published my data and making it available for other researchers to use. And so it was definitely a goal that I've always had, and I was able to achieve it. And I owe a lot to beginning my research very young as an undergraduate researcher at Cuesta.
What really interested me and got me hooked initially was Professor Silvio and his teaching style and in his microbiology course. And I just really enjoyed working in the lab with him, and he was really passionate about it as well. So he really helped set up a project, and it was something that I had been working on already through a Surfrider volunteering. So we were able to kind of partnership with that and go above and beyond just basic sampling. So we took water samples out of Slow Creek, and basically what we were trying to do was tag DNA signatures in those fecal coliforms that are only present in human fecal coliforms. So we were trying to prove that some of the pollution in the water sources were human-derived. We basically use a lot of nanotechnology techniques to kind of isolate that DNA in the microbiology lab here. And before COVID shut down the labs, we were working on our primers and our base sample to start then referencing that to actual sources and trying to target those. What I really enjoyed the most outside of working directly with Silvio and other peers of mine was just the hands-on experience. It's something that I had never done before. I'd worked in labs, but we were using more like nanobiology techniques, microbiology techniques, so that was really fascinating and so in-depth and hands-on. So it was a whole new skill set that I was able to pursue.
So this program has actually been a really awesome and exciting opportunity for us to increase undergraduate research opportunities that were already happening at Cuesta College. My colleague Silvio Favoretto and myself in biology have been engaging with students in undergraduate research for, gosh, almost 10 years now, and it is something that we're really passionate about. And then we took that passion and were able to, along with colleagues again in physical science, math, anthropology, and engineering, to continue to sort of expand the number of opportunities that are offered campus-wide. Lisa Misfit also was doing a lot of research with her students in anthropology. And so just looking for a way to make it more of a systematic approach that would allow for more students to participate. And a lot of that has come about and been supported by the National Science Foundation's grant, which was a 3-year grant we were awarded in spring of 2019. It ends in the spring of 2022, but the goal has really been to, again, figure out ways that we can get more opportunities in more science, more STEM disciplines, and then ultimately for those to serve more students.
I think what I liked best of all was being able to work closely with the professors and having them kind of, be mentors and push me towards a direction that I didn't know if I was capable of, but they made me believe in myself. So that was probably the best part.
A lot of the time, the best way to figure out a good way to get involved in research is to simply talk to the people who would have the most access to it in the area. That, for us, is a lot of time the professors that are teaching at Cuesta and the people they know. So even if they don't have something going on at the time, they can often lead you to other research opportunities.
All of the professors at Cuesta are fonts of knowledge. So just being able to work closely with them, it enhances your skill set so much. Like it really, and it brings out the best in you.
The big, I'll say, push for the grant has been to kind of create a culture of undergraduate research here at Cuesta College. We know students need these opportunities. We know students want these opportunities. They are so critical to how students can ultimately have success in STEM fields. A lot of students think that they can and should wait until they get into a four-year university in order to be able to participate in undergraduate research opportunities. But many times students are already at those four-year universities getting opportunities in their first and second years. And so we see Cuesta College really poised and primed to be able to offer those opportunities when most other students are getting them, so that they're not behind when they transfer to other institutions or engage in the workforce. And so we're really proud that we've been able to offer these opportunities, not only again in biology, but across all STEM disciplines here at Cuesta College. And we look forward to being able to bring those experiences to even more students.
I think what's great about Cuesta is not only the caliber of professors and teachers' assistants and such that you have at your disposal, but because it's a community college, it's not impacted as much. So you get that opportunity to work hands-on. If that's something that you're into, the professors are really keen on helping you flourish and helping you grow in whatever you really choose to do. And I think that that is something that a lot of other colleges tend to be missing sometimes, or there's not as much opportunity, whereas Cuesta, it's just whatever you get, what you can do whatever you really want to do. And I think that's an awesome thing.
It's something that's taken for granted. Something that has been hard for me since moving to a four-year is that it's really hard to get connected with professors, with programs, because there's a lot of competition.
It's almost universal that many of the students at my university have very little to no lab experience, especially nursing students. So having a huge up on the process of how typing, culturing, selecting even works is astounding to me. It puts you ahead of a lot of other students and gives you a very, very good understanding of material that a lot of time other people don't actually consider to be part of, well, the process, especially in nursing and medical science.
I think that this undergraduate research is a great opportunity for any student at Cuesta College, whether you want to continue on with academia and pursue more research later on, or even if you want to transfer into industry or do something in the workforce. There are so many projects that you can do as long as you have an idea and a feasible timeline. It's really transferable, and it allows students to really hone in those special skills that allow them to sell themselves better for a job, or allow them to apply to UC Berkeley and transfer in and do more research later on.
I would want to encourage people to go for it. You know, my first thought was, I don't have time to do this. How am I going to fit this into my coursework? And that's a legitimate concern. You know, we have to be really wise with our time and be careful. But for me, I decided this is something I really want. You know, being part of NASA, being part of a research opportunity is so good that I don't want to pass that up. And so I encourage people to go for it and apply and to make it happen. You know, either for this opportunity with NASA or another research opportunity, because there's a difference between going to school and understanding the coursework, and then there's applying something like that in real life and being part of a team of real people and coming together to get a job done, and then presenting to a panel of judges, and then, you know, having all these weird pressures and just the systems engineering and the budgets and the stuff that we don't think about in classes. It added a rich experience to my college experience, but it's something I would never say no to, again, if I had the chance.
So there are a number of different ways students can participate in these various research opportunities. Sometimes the mentoring is one-on-one. That happens a lot in anthropology and in biology. And then a number of the other opportunities are actually based upon taking courses. And so if you're someone who maybe feels a little bit more intimidated about doing one-on-one research, you can participate with a group of your peers by taking a course. And this is definitely the case in the engineering department, in the GIS department, and then also via mathematics and biology, and we're looking to integrate those kinds of programs into anthropology as well. And so it's exciting, right? Because you have a chance to not only, again, get this one-on-one mentorship, but to have an opportunity to interact and engage with your peers who are also interested in STEM research, and have a chance to move through that process, the scientific method and implementation, right, with a group of your peers.
These opportunities are really helpful because it's a community college, so a lot of us are going to these community colleges to figure out what we want to be when we grow up. So I think these research opportunities really allow us to sort of test things out, see if we really like them, and if we do, then you can then go on to get a 4-year in whatever you've started. So I think that that's a really good opportunity.
Not only does participating in research at Cuesta put you at a huge academic advantage, it also looks fantastic on any transfer paperwork you're going to do. Plus, the relationships you form with your professors can help you potentially apply to secondary university.
On top of that, you get extra stuff on your transcripts, and everybody wants that. So I now have a biology research assistant and molecular biology on my transcript. You know, in addition to I'll be graduating with my associates in biology this semester. So it's just an overall great experience. It's fulfilling, exciting, and I can't wait to get into more research.
If I had to recommend if you should do research or not as an undergrad, you absolutely should. It's a great way to get familiar with the science and get you to where you want to be in the future.
I think students should take advantage of the undergraduate research because each person has their own goals and skills and passions, and in doing your own research project, it really allows you to focus in and strengthen those skills. It also allows you to explore specific things you're interested in, and so you could do it as like a side project to another class, but a lot of these classes are geared towards generalizing a lot of these big picture concepts. But if you are really fascinated about a particular portion of it, or find a job that requires specific skill sets or a specific interest, and you want to develop those a little bit further, the undergraduate research would be a really great opportunity for that.
I would actually recommend that you talk to your professors about it. Talk to Jeff Jones, talk to your math teachers, ask them about opportunities. This opportunity is a fantastic one, but I know there's other opportunities out there. But I would say go for it. I would say find something that you think that resonates with you as a person and apply. And don't get caught up thinking that you're not going to make it or you're not going to get picked. Go for it. You can't get picked if you don't try. So I'd say totally go for it. And when you get in, give it everything you've got and go after it with your passion, because that's what's it's gonna change things. It's gonna unlock some things inside of you, and it's gonna be really, really monumental and changing.